Well, hey, entrepreneurs, welcome back to another of our weekly live Ask Me Anything sessions. For the next 20 minutes, I'm going to be answering your social media marketing questions right here, right now. If you're here live, join me over in the chat box and let me know what your social media marketing struggle is right now. And we did have some questions written in early, so we're going to get them priority and jump into the conversation. So let's take a look. Mary Jane Works wrote in over on my Discord today and said, she actually had a couple of different questions. I actually want to talk about that first, or the second one first. So she says, how often should you be posting about your project without seeming spammy or too salesmanish? So how do you post all the time about the one project, the one business, the one thing that you are putting out into the world without seeming like it's spammy? And this is actually interesting, Mary Jane, because you have to make sure that you're not spammy, because people will look away if you are. But the cool thing is you can talk about your projects, your businesses, your products, the things that you are doing in a way that does not seem like a sales pitch simply by not selling. All you have to do is not beg people to come do the thing that you want. So it's not read my book, read my book. It's not read my comic, read my comic. It's not buy my candles, buy my candles. It's here is some valuable information for you. Here's something helpful to you. Here's information that I think that you would like. Oh, and look, there's also some of my stuff here. So for me as an author, when I'm promoting my books, and I know Mary Jane is actually a webcomic author. So let's talk about these books and these webcomics. When I'm an author and I'm promoting my books, I do not ever say, my book is for sale. My book is for sale. Look, I have a book. I've written a book. I wrote a book. Here's my book. Never, ever, ever. I come and I give my clients, my students, my readers, my fans value. And so I say, here is a fact no one else knows about my character. Or here's a look behind the scenes at how we formatted this book. Or here's a look behind the scenes at what I did to create this scene. Or here's how I revised it. Here's a bonus scene. Here's a deleted scene. Here's information that you don't know. Now with you, you're going to do behind the scenes about your characters. You are going to do behind the scenes about your art process. You're going to do behind the scenes about the programs you're using. You're going to give little facts and behind the scenes stories about the things that you're creating to add value to the people who are reading your webcomic, because nobody wants to hear you say, look, I made a webcomic. Look, I drew a picture. Look, I drew a thing. No one wants that. They want something that means something to them. So you're giving them something to enhance the story. You want to talk about the details in the boots that your character is wearing that's special to that one particular chapter that you put out there. Now, if you are an entrepreneur who is not an author, you're going to be looking at your product. You're going to be showing that to somebody and you're going to give them value. So if you're a candle creator, instead of saying, my candles are on sale, you're going to say, here's how to create a centerpiece with these candles to give out for Christmas. And you're going to give that tutorial. You're going to give that behind the scenes. Or you're going to give a look at the top 10 candles that are being sold in your business right now for the upcoming summer season. It's something that is of value to them. You want to make sure that you are not just saying, here's a thing I created, buy my thing. You're giving value to the person who's reading it. So should you be posting a lot about the product, the service, the thing that you have created? Yes, you should, but in a way that makes a difference to that person. What are they going to find interesting, educational, or entertaining? Your key comes down to, how can I educate this person, or how can I entertain this person? It's not focused on you. It's focused on what you can do for them. Mary Jane Works also says, what should you be posting in your captions? So this is something we talk about a lot here at Social Media for Bosses, and I've actually got a really great video all about how to get comments on Instagram. And this honestly comes down to getting people to engage with you. So let's just think about this for a second. Let's just take a minute. If I said I was going to Starbucks, what would you reply to that? Nothing, right? That's kind of weird. Like, what do you say? I'm going to Starbucks. How do you reply to that? Well, what if I said, I'm going to Starbucks, what should I get? That's a big, broad topic, and it gives people some room to kind of give opinions there, but we also want to make sure it's a little bit easier. I'm going to Starbucks, should I get the latte or the frappe? Guys, I don't drink coffee. I don't know. So you're asking these questions that are either or. It makes it a lot easier for them to decide to actually go ahead and respond to you. But did you notice how I switched the script a little bit? I started off by saying, I'm going to Starbucks. That's a statement. It ends in a period. It doesn't give anywhere for people to go. I then immediately switched it to, I'm going to Starbucks. What should I get? Or what is your favorite thing at Starbucks? Or should I get this or that at Starbucks? What kind of punctuation does that end with? Question. I'm asking for their opinion. I'm asking for them to weigh in on this. I'm asking for them to give me suggestions. And the second I ask them to give me opinions or suggestions, it opens the door and says, I want you to speak back to me. I want you to get in my space and to answer a question. When you start asking questions in your captions, this right here is where people start to engage with you. In fact, I had a client reach out to me this week, and she gave me the best quote. She said, I haven't implemented everything that you've taught me yet during our one-on-one consultation that we did, but I did change how I post my captions. And now that I'm using, and I'm paraphrasing all this, by the way, it's going to go up on the website soon, but it's a really good quote. She said, now that I'm actually using these questions, it's allowed people to open up to me. I have real relationships with them, and I'm starting these actual conversations with people. And she said, can't thank you enough for all of this, because it's changed how she's running her business and allowed that one-on-one relationship with her clients. Asking questions, getting in touch with people, and giving them permission to speak back to you is really important. But I want you to check out this video over on our YouTube page. It's really, really, really valuable. It's packed full of how you can actually be running captions. And if you need more help with captions, believe me, I have got you covered, because I've got tons of caption guides all over kmrobinson.com. Go look it up. There's tons and tons and tons of help here. But we actually have questions about comments coming up, so we're going to get back to that in just a minute. Mary Jane at the bottom also says, how do you get people to comment and engage with your posts? Well, it goes back to asking questions, because nobody wants that confrontational, like, I'm going to Starbucks. Okay, cool. So I'm going to Starbucks, what should I get? All of a sudden, I get to weigh in. If I break it down, I'm going to Starbucks. Should I get the vanilla bean scone or should I get the cookie? People can say either or. Like, when you give them choices, when you give them the ability to ask and answer questions, this is when they start to do it. So you actually put your question at the very beginning of your caption. Again, watch this video. This really breaks it down for you, and it's something I highly recommend that you check out, because it's really important to know exactly what you're doing when it comes to those conversations and getting conversation within your social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Starting a conversation rather than just telling them something is going to make all the difference. Powerpop Fitness joined us this week on our YouTube page and said, so good, I was wondering this too. Thanks for answering the question so well about when to post. In last week's AMA, we actually jumped on and we were talking about when we should be posting on social media. And we broke down a whole bunch of other questions too. But we talked specifically about when and what time of day you should be posting for your specific audience. And I even give you a little resource on figuring out when that's right for you. So make sure you're checking out that video. And Powerpop Fitness, I appreciate you hanging out with us this week. Dr. Lara Zib says, oh my word, I did not know this. Thank you for sharing. This is so super helpful. We were talking all about how you can be saving your Instagram live streams in two different ways. One that gives you social proof, one that gives you a really clean version of what you did over on Instagram, so you can repurpose it in multiple locations. Make sure you check out that video if you have not. And Dr. Lara, thanks for hanging out. We did get another comment all about, I love how enthusiastic you are through the whole video. Thank you. I try to be peppy. I don't drink coffee. I just told you with my Starbucks thing. But I do try to keep your attention. So I'm glad that I was enthusiastic for you, as we were talking all about how you can actually be working around the fact that you can't screen share on Instagram. I got a little hack for you that says, actually, you can. So make sure you check out that video this week. And thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate you being here. That is teeny tiny. That is a teeny tiny little thing here. I'm going to lean in so I can read. Sorry, guys. How often should you post on Instagram? How often should you preferably post on Instagram? I've heard from some people that a daily post counts as spam, and Instagram shows it less, but others say that that's how they got big. Okay, so here's the deal. Posting on Instagram once a day does not count as spam. Whoever told you that is wrong. However, there's a little caveat to this. So when it comes down to your posting, you need to be posting on social media as often as your audience wants to hear from you. So in some of my businesses, my audience wants to hear from me once a day. And I only post once a day, unless there's like breaking news. But I only post once a day. In my social media strategist life, I post once a day. In my author life, I know that my fans are interested in hearing me 1 to 2 times a day. They don't want to see 3 posts. They don't want to see 4 posts. My engagement starts to go down. But if I post once early in the day and once later in the day, they're totally okay with that. My engagement levels on both of those stay up. And so I know I can post 1 to 2 times a day on my author life. In my brand new platform, which opened a month ago, I am actually now working with webcomic authors and artists to help promote them and grow their businesses. And for them, what I have found in my brand new platform is that these people, these fans, these followers are content starved. I could post 10 times a day and get the same amount of engagement on each and every one of my posts. These fans are dying for people to be posting. And I'm going to say this because I know that you're actually in the webcomic industry and you guys need to hear this. When I am on my Instagram, I'm following you authors, all the big names, all of you guys, I'm following you. Do you know how often my Instagram updates? I can go hours and hours and hours without seeing a new post from anyone. Maybe it updates twice a day. Maybe. That means you guys are not posting content. You're not posting it daily, and you should be. And at the absolute minimum, because I know you're in the webcomic industry, you should be posting once a day. In fact, in any industry, the minimum is once a day, 5 days a week to 7 days a week. You should be posting at least once a day to get that engagement. Now, if you post less than that, you're not going to grow as fast. And people are going to forget you there. They're going to stop looking for your content. Maybe they'll see things, maybe they won't. But it also tanks your algorithm rating because you're not putting out content. Remember, with Instagram or any of the social media platforms, their goal is to get you to keep people on their platform. Instagram wants you to create content and put it out there so your fans are on their platform longer. Because when their fans are on the platform longer, Instagram can then serve them more ads, which means they make money. Their goal is to make money. They need viewers to be on their platform in order for them to show them ads to make money. So if you're creating content and you're putting it out there, Instagram is going to reward you by showing your content to more people and getting you more followers, getting you better engagement, showing off your stuff to new people who haven't met you yet. I myself have been shown off to so many people in all of my businesses because I post regular content and because people are engaging with it in a really good quality way. They're leaving comments, they're leaving likes, they're sharing things on their Instagram stories, all those fabulous things. Because I'm doing that, they're rewarding me by bringing me new followers who have no reason to have found me in any way, shape, or form. And they find me and they're able to join me more so than just searching in the Explore tab. So for you, you should be posting at minimum once a day because this is a conversation. You're starting a relationship with these fans and you need to be able to reach out to them and have these conversations with them. This develops that ability to trust you, to know you, to like you, to start following you, interacting with you, and taking responsibility for your business. When they feel like they're close to you, they're going to become evangelists for you and get you more and more fans. Does this make sense? It's all this, it's tracking. You can go from one tiny thing all the way to this big, huge following. So you should no less than once a day be posting as a webcomic author and as any entrepreneur. Now, as a webcomic author, I would love to see you post at least twice a day, once early, like mid-morning, and once at night during primetime television hours based in the US Eastern Time. This is when I have found works really, really well for that industry. I would love to see you posting at least twice a day. If that's not doable for you, once a day minimum, 5 days a week minimum. Take 2 days off if you need to. Give yourself a weekend, give yourself a day off. That's okay. I understand. I understand content creation can be a thing. That's why we batch create. But you should be posting no less than once a day, because if you aren't posting once a day, people will come to your account and think they're not active here. I can't talk to them. I can't befriend them. I can't ask them questions. You need to show that you're there, present, interacting, and engaging with your audience. So you need to be posting minimally once a day, 5 days a week, and then responding to the people who are leaving comments on your post. And go back to my earlier answer where I told you how to get that engagement so that you can have those conversations. It's so incredibly important. Now, Christian was with us this week, jumped into our video all about how you can be pre-recording video and putting it into your live stream to show off while you are on air. And Christian says, learning so much from your content. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you, Christian, for hanging out and for your kind words. We do appreciate it. Natalie jumped in on our video all about 5 things you should never, ever, ever be doing while you are live streaming and says, wonderful information. I need to know this for my business. Well, thank you, Natalie. I'm glad that you are here and that you are learning things that you can implement into your business. Allie also joined us this week and said, I was distracted by how stunning your hair is. Love this information. Definitely going to refer back to it next time I go live. Well, thank you, Allie. I appreciate that. I always like when people appreciate my hair, especially since we're all in lockdown. We can't go get a cut or do anything fun. Not that I do, but I always love hearing that people appreciate my hair. Thank you. That's a Rapunzel in me. Diego jumped onto one of our videos this week where we're talking about how to go live on Instagram. And Diego says, I was wondering if it's possible to use Instagram normally while being live, or does you have to end it before you can view, like, or post again? So if you are live streaming on Instagram, you have to stay on the Instagram screen. You can't leave it. Same goes for if you are going live on YouTube or Facebook from your phone. You have to stay there or that goes away. it ends your broadcast. Don't do that. If you need to be reacting to people, you should be doing that during your live stream, not later on. You should be doing it not in the comments. You should be doing it on air. If somebody's responding to you, if they're writing in with questions or comments or things inside of your live stream, you need to be addressing that on air. If it's something that you don't want to address on air, you can do it after your live stream ends. All right, moving forward. Money with Maggie hung out with us. We were talking all about how you can add guests to your live streams. This is awesome. Thank you. I'll be using these tips in the future. Well, you're welcome, Maggie. Thanks so much for hanging out. Can't wait to see what you do with it. Andrea joined us and said, interesting, I've never heard of Vellum before, but I always use to format pages in Mac. She's going to check it out. Andrea, I do not recommend using Pages to format ebooks, like ever. It is the lowest end option. It limits everything you can do. It does not work well. You're doing this for PDFs. You can kind of get away with it a little bit. I don't recommend it, but you definitely can, just like you can also use things like Word to kind of format. If you know what you're doing, you can use Word to legitimately format. But Vellum is great. It's a drag and drop option for formatting those ebooks. And I highly recommend that you're doing this within your businesses, whether you're an author or you are creating a lead magnet to go out in your newsletter, on your website, all those fun, fabulous places. So this is a great thing to be checking out. Dr. Lara also hung out with us again this week and says, another great video. Thank you for this. Didn't realize all this info. We were talking all about how to get guest stars on your live stream. So we were talking about how to reach out to people and get them to come join you on your live stream to grow your business and theirs. If you're joining me live, now is the time to jump into the chat box. I would love to get your questions answered for you. We are here for 20 minutes, and we've got just a few more minutes as we're going to power through these last couple of questions. Anything we don't get to today, we will be doing in next week's live AMA. We are here live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. answering your questions in real time. So if you don't want to wait for a video, a webinar, a tutorial, a course, of whatever I happen to be putting out for you guys to grow your business in a profitable way, you can show up here every single Wednesday on youtube.com/KM Robinson to make sure that you are getting your questions answered in real time. Mary Jane Works says, what is the best time of day to post? Well, my friend, we actually talked about that in last week's AMA. You can check it out by going to youtube.com/KM Robinson. And it comes down to knowing your people's schedule. So who's following you? Who are your followers and what time are they online? This is important because the algorithms measure how successful your post is based on the engagement you get in the first amount of time. Instagram does not tell us. Facebook does not tell us. They don't tell us what the algorithm is thinking. So it could be 10 minutes. It could be 20 minutes. It could be an hour. It could be the first 5 hours. It could be the first 24 hours. We don't know what that metric is because they are tight-lipped and they're not telling us. So you have to make sure you are posting when people are around, because if you're posting at 5 a.m. and nobody's conscious at 5 a.m., are you going to get engagement? No, you're not. So you want to make sure you know when people are around. You actually have to do a bit of testing, and I explained exactly how to do that in this video from last week and in other videos as well. And if you actually go to, this is a little shout out that I shout out in this video, but I'll tell you here too. You can actually go to #kmrobinson.com. This is going to get you on my newsletter. And in my newsletter, I send you 3 presents when you sign up. I send you a hashtag guide so you know exactly which hashtags you should be using and the #1 offender that actually kills your reach. And then the next day, I send you a hashtag tracker, which is how you're going to figure this out. And then there's a 3rd gift as well. So you can go over to #kmrobinson.com to grab those. It'll go day 1, day 2, day 3. So if you sign up today, you'll get the tracker tomorrow. And all the good, fabulous, wonderful stuff to help you figure out when is the best time of day for you to be posting. I know because you are in the webcomic world, you're going to be posting. When I post, I have been finding mornings okay. Usually the morning is like my less important topic that I'm putting out there. Mid-afternoon tends to be okay. And then evening, like primetime television, like I usually post like 8:45 Eastern, and that works really well for me. But anytime like primetime television when people are sitting down and hanging out on social media during commercials, that's going to help you out. But also because you are in the webcomic world, you've got fans all over the world, so you can kind of get decent traction during most times of the day just because you've got fans all over the world. So make sure you grab that tracker and you test out what's going to work best for you. All right, let me get that off screen so I can actually read that. Makeda hung out and said, I really thought these are I really thought all these points were good, especially around having a plan. I think a lot of people forget to do this. When I first started, she was talking all about how she did not have a plan and how it did not go super well. And these were on my 5 things to not ever do online or on live streams. One of those was don't go live without a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's not going to be a good live stream. So we broke down exactly what you need to know inside of that video. If you are a live streamer, that's a great one to be checking out. And actually, a lot of those principles apply to social media posting as well in general. Vanessa Nicole hung out and said, needed this tip all about how to save your live streams from Instagram. I know it can be tricky. There are 2 ways that you can do it. And I highly recommend checking those out and seeing which one is going to be best for you. Which tools exist where you can check insights for social media? How accurate are insights provided by Instagram themselves, and how you can use them efficiently? So here's the deal. The social media platforms do give you analytics. Use those. Don't use the third-party apps because they're never as good. I don't recommend using them. In a lot of cases, it can actually hurt your account and kind of start to make you look like a bot, which could get you demoted in the algorithm system and potentially get you kicked off of the social media platforms. Instagram specifically has closed their API. It is closed. It is not available to people. They've made rules about it. So there are no third-party apps that you can be using on Instagram because they act like bots. Instagram has kicked them out. So if you're trying to use something like that, it's going to damage your account. Don't do it. They also can't get in to get the accurate analytics. So that's not going to help you. Now, Instagram does give you some analytics, and business accounts on Instagram give you more analytics. This is where it gets a little tricky because on Instagram right now, what we need to do, let's step back. We need to know that Facebook owns Instagram. And as a social media strategist, my people who are on the same level teaching the same thing as I do have had conversations about this. And we know that the writing's on the wall. We know what Facebook did. We know where Facebook went. And we know where Instagram is going. So right now the writing is on the wall. With Facebook, they had personal profiles and pages. Personal profiles are not allowed to be used as business accounts. If you're doing that on Facebook, you will get kicked off the platform. It's against the terms of service. Don't do it. If you are using your business account as a business account, you're good to go. And you do get some analytics with that. You do get some perks with that. But also, they've recently, in the last couple of years, have limited our reach because people don't want to be sold to. And so many entrepreneurs were, instead of having conversations and building community, they were trying to do that slimy salesman pitch, like buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And so now they've limited the reach of business pages. It's hard to get that organic reach outside of ads over on Facebook at this point. Because Facebook owns Instagram, we know what's coming. We know that on Instagram, it hasn't happened yet, but we know that at some point, when they mandate we switch from a personal account to a business account, they're going to start limiting those business accounts because they want you to buy ads so you can target the right people and they can make money and you can make money and all the good things. So right now, they do not require us to have a business account. So for all of my businesses, I do not have a business account, whether I qualify for it or not on that platform. I do not have it. Now, there are a couple perks to the business account, the swipe up feature. You do get some analytics, but for most of us entrepreneurs who are educating on social media strategy, we say it is not worth it. It is not worth it to have our future limited by this. And so we do not have those business accounts. We are not trading that for those analytics. It's not worth it. You can look at your analytics and analyze them yourself. So I know from my likes, from my comments, from what I've got going on my social media platform, from how I'm tracking it, I know what works really well for me, and I am leaning into that. You can do it yourself. Does it take a minute to do? Yes, it does. Is it worth it in the long run? Yes, it is. If you already have a business account, I'm sorry, boo-boo. It is too late. They've tagged you. They know. If you've already got a business account, just run with it. Just run with it at this point. If you do not have a business account, if you're operating on a personal profile on Instagram, you are still allowed to use that for your business. Stay that way. Don't switch. Is this going to change in the future? Yes, it is. Now, they give you analytics. I do recommend that you are analyzing them from there. And we have lots of content on how to analyze your algorithms, not your algorithms, if your analytics. We can talk about analyzing your analytics on Social Media for Bosses on kmrobinson.com. You can check out all those resources over there. But you want to make sure that you are doing it on your own. So get a calendar, start writing things down. Write down what you've posted, how many engagements you're getting in terms of likes and comments and shares and whatevers. and then analyze what's working really, really well for you, and then lean into that and stay away from the other stuff. Now, you have to remember, of course, this is not based on vanity metrics, and this is a big thing that a lot of people assume. The number of your followers doesn't matter. Your engagement rate matters. So if you've got 10 followers and 10 followers have all commented on your photo, you did really, really good. If you have 100 followers and 10 of them commented on your photo, did you do good? No. Only 10% of your followers, people who said they want to follow you, have engaged with that post. So that tells Instagram, you did not do good with that post. People don't care about what you just posted. Even though you have 100 followers, only 10 of them have interacted. A tenth of that likes your post. So it's actually better to have less followers and higher engagement. But if you can get a lot of followers and a lot of engagement, that's ideal. But it's better to not grow your followers if you're not getting that engagement. You actually want real followers who want to be there. So don't like buy followers. That doesn't help your stuff. That's vanity metrics. That's no good. You want to make sure you're posting content that is getting specifically comments, likes, shares, hearts, all those things. Important, but comments are very, very important. They're weighed differently in the algorithm system. We've got tons and tons and tons of content on how the algorithm works. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but we're over time and I got a little bit more to go. So let's keep going. Let's get those last couple of things answered, and anything we don't get to today, we will save for next week. Definitely super important here. Thanks so much for sharing. Yeah, the 5 things you should never do on a live stream. Make sure you guys are checking that out. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this week, friend. Should we use money for ads? What kind of posts would you recommend for ads? Yeah. The social media platforms are designed to help you to find a bigger following and make money from ads. This is important. Should you be running ads? Yes, you should. But you should not be running ads if your business is not prepared to run ads. If you do not have the content to back getting new followers, to keep them entertained, to keep them educated, if you don't have your systems and your funnels in place, if you do not have your professional website ready to go, if you do not have a newsletter up and running, if you do not have products to sell or services to sell, if you don't have somewhere to be sending these people, should you be doing ads? No, we are not wasting your money. You have to have your business lined up before you are running ads. Otherwise, you are just throwing that money out the window. So you need to have a very specific place to send people. You have to have that professional appearance online, meaning your website and your newsletter, meaning you have products out there. You've got something ready to go for them to buy. Otherwise, you're not selling ads. So I know you do webcomics, friend, unless you've got you absolutely should have a website. You should have your social media in line. You should be posting once a day minimally. You should be doing live streams. You should be doing behind the scenes. You should be doing all sorts of things to build out your web comic, because you're getting ad revenue from that. But you need a shop, not a Patreon. You need an actual shop. You need a website. You need to have things that people can buy to support your web comic without it just being reading your web comic. Because who's that making money for? You and the company that is hosting your web comic. You want to make sure you're getting money for yourself too, good money for yourself. So get those things lined up first, and then invest in ads. If you need information on how to use ads and how to do it properly, we actually had Facebook and Instagram ads expert Vidya Ravi on the show a couple of weeks ago, and she broke down everything you need to know about Facebook and Instagram ads. Specifically, the best ads in the industry right now are going to be those Facebook ads and YouTube ads and Instagram ads. Not ads anywhere else. You got some things, and for some businesses, you're going to do well on like LinkedIn. You're going to do well on some of the other social media platforms. TikTok is actually a really big one that's wide open right now because not a lot of people are using this for marketing purposes, which means you can get good ads cheap over there. But I recommend specifically for entrepreneurs, based on what type of business you are running, I would recommend looking at Facebook and Instagram. Those two are connected because they're owned. Instagram is owned by Facebook. I recommend looking at YouTube ads, and I recommend looking at TikTok ads. Specifically for you, friend, as a webcomic person, I 100% recommend going with YouTube ads first. I would say YouTube should be one of your priorities. I would say TikTok is going to be invaluable to the webcomic world. I'm going to do some education on that. I still have to test some things out and look into some things for you guys on that one, but I will be educating you on that. And I recommend doing some Instagram ads and some Facebook ads because let's be honest, I know you guys don't get a lot of analytics over in the world of webcomics on the specific platform that you're using, but I have been doing some analytic research for you based off of my platform. And I will tell you, a lot of teenagers focus on things like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, but the majority of your readers are not teenagers. A good chunk of them are, but it's not all that there is. You actually have a lot of people older than me. My statistics sway older than me. So like 30s, I'm in my 30s, but like, 30s to mid 40s is where a lot of your people are actually coming from. They're just quiet on social media because they feel like grown-ups shouldn't be reading webcomics, which we're breaking the stigma on that one right now over at that platform that I'm educating you guys on. But these are the people who have buying power, people who have the money to actually pay for some of the stuff that you are offering. So I recommend looking at Facebook ads too, even though teenagers are not necessarily as heavily invested into Facebook. Now it is swinging back. The teenagers are coming back to Facebook, but for you guys, I would go with YouTube, I would go with TikTok, I would go with Instagram, and then a little bit of Facebook as well. Oh, okay, we're almost there, almost there. How should you self-promote without seeming pushy or vain? Again, you keep the focus on your people. What do they want to see? They don't care about you, your Starbucks, your kitty, your kids. They don't care about your life. They want what they've come for, which is your product or your service. For you specifically, I know you're a webcomic designer, because today we're talking all about webcomic designer questions. So I want behind the scenes of your stories, how you're creating it, behind the scenes of your characters, your world development, your character building, all of those things. You're giving extra fun facts about your characters, the things that you're drawing, the colors that you're using. You're doing some educational content. You're giving them more of the story that they already love, and you're not making it about you. Don't ever say, hey, look, I did this thing, or come look at this thing, or buy this thing. Keep the focus off of you. Keep it 100% on what your fans want to see. And you know what? If you're struggling with it, ask them. Ask the people that you are hanging out with. What do you want to see more of? Also, you can come ask me, because like I'm doing really, really well in that industry, to the point where I have been offered a big sponsorship 3 weeks into launching this platform. So come hang out. We'll talk all about it. We'll give you some ideas. It'll be lots and lots of fun. And if you guys have social media marketing questions, I would love to get those answered for you. We are breaking down everything every single week right here on youtube.com/KM Robinson. And we are making sure we get your questions answered in real time right here on the live stream. I would love to get your questions answered next week. And as always, you can come hang out at Live Stream Action Plan. We just launched our brand new platform. In fact, tomorrow at 3 p.m., we're actually going to be showing you exactly how you can be using Live Stream Action Plan, which is my brand new monthly membership site. You do get to do one big, important, really engaging live stream in your business to help grow your business in a profitable way. And I give you a roadmap for exactly how you can be doing that. So I break down step by step, caption for caption, thing for thing, button for button, exactly what you can be doing to do this live stream in your business. So all you have to do is fill in some blanks and actually hit the record button. In addition to that, we give you our monthly magazine with social media tips and tricks. We break down other social media live streams that you can be doing to grow your business to supplement that really big one that you're doing every single month. We give you all sorts of behind the scenes and bonus content. There's office hours. You can get personalized critiques by me. We can make sure that your live streams are becoming more and more actionable every single month. You can go over to livestreamactionplan.com to learn more. And tomorrow I'm showing you exactly how to use everything you get inside of Livestream Action Plan. It's super easy. It's so easy to step-by-step follow exactly what's going on inside of what is going to be your live stream. And it takes all the guesswork out of this to make sure you're getting people to show up, you're marketing, you're repurposing. I break down everything you need to know. And tomorrow I'm going to show you exactly how you can be doing that. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow for Social Media for Bosses, the talk show every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Hit up the podcast every single Sunday, because we are growing your profitable business through smart social media marketing. Thanks guys so much for joining me. I am over on my time, but I had to get all your questions answered today. I will see you guys again next week as we drive in for another live Ask Me Anything and for the Social Media for Bosses talk show. Don't forget, we have brand new videos here every Tuesday and Friday. Hit the subscribe and notification bell, because we've got good things coming this week. We're going to be talking about some really cool things within your business and how you can be live streaming. Specifically, we're going to be talking about how you can prepare your guests to come on your live stream without spending a ton of time getting them onboarded into your thing. We just talked about how you can be managing your live stream agenda to make sure that you don't stumble or have any issues while you're live. We've got all the great videos on Instagram, on Twitter, on Snapchat, on IGTV, on YouTube. and live streaming, even some on TikTok here on the platforms. And make sure you check all